Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me, a new face, but not new to the team here. We have Brad Sipple, the Community Development Planner for the City of Fitchburg. Brad, welcome to Talking Fitchburg. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
And thank you. We had a chance to talk a little bit earlier about all the great things that you are doing or have done. But one of the big things that you're working on right now is the South Stoner Prairie Neighborhood Plan.
Yep.
A lot to say. I know it's a big title, but a lot in there. We're pretty early. I don't want to say we're too early into this process.
No.
You've started the process. We're going through it.
Yeah.
But just from the beginning, what starts a plan just in general when we're doing a neighborhood plan?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can probably back up all the way to the completion of the comprehensive plan about 15 years ago that identified future urban development areas. There were, I don't remember how many were identified, but there were several identified as kind of the future urban growth boundary for the city of Fitchburg. Mm-hmm. North Stoner Prairie, McGaw, the northeast area were all areas that were identified and have had neighborhood plans completed. And kind of the next tier out are South Stoner Prairie and Greenfield. So that's kind of where we are with the neighborhood planning process. And Fitchburg does this neighborhood planning process to develop more detail in what future development in those areas might look like, where growth, our future growth could be accommodated in those areas, where streets could go, what types of land uses are appropriate. So that's, what are some important environmental and maybe farmland features that should be preserved in that area. So that's kind of the purpose of the neighborhood plan and kind of the genesis of it from the comprehensive plan. So.
All right, well, let's jump in deep here into the South Stoner Prairie neighborhood plan. You're in it says current phase, existing condition analysts. And maybe you're a little bit further than that, but at least for website purpose. But where are you at currently in the process?
Yes, yeah, we have had, for this plan, we've had 2 steering committee meetings now. We are a little bit further than existing conditions. We're still doing that. We're still kind of doing some stakeholder interviews. We've had a public open house early on in the process. That was after the first steering committee meeting. That was mainly to kind of prevent some of the initial existing conditions analysis data that has been collected, and then get public reaction to it and get public feedback on what the community would like to see in the neighborhood and how this neighborhood growth can best serve the city. So the next steering committee meeting is going to be looking at some, I guess, initial bubble diagrams of potential land uses and maybe some potential street layouts and things like that. And that brings me to kind of the public survey that we're planning on releasing this week or next week. And that is going to present some of these initial land use diagrams and some development concepts for the community to react to, provide their feedback and things like that.
And that's what this is all about, right? I mean, really, this process plays out that, again, stakeholders, community, anybody who's interested in the development and the process of this, that you're getting their feedback as you're going through this process. Yeah. You work with a consultant, you're working on the info that you have, and bringing this all together. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it's a lot of feedback loops. We do some initial data gathering and field visits and things like that. Bring some ideas to the community, get community's feedback, incorporate those ideas and bring them back, and it's kind of an iterative process that that the steering committee helps guide as well. We have for each neighborhood plan, we have 6 steering committee meetings planned for the process, and like I said, we've had 2 so far, so we're about a third of the way through that piece of the process.
All right, if somebody's hearing about this for the first time today, where would you suggest they start to get caught up? And maybe I'm just going to say it. There's a good webpage for this.
Yes, there is a webpage, and all of the meetings that we've had so far have been recorded and are posted on that webpage. So if you really want to catch up, I think watching the previous meetings would be a really great place to start. But if you wanted to get involved now without putting in the time to watch all of those, previous meeting recordings, I think the survey is a good place to start. Somebody doesn't need to know a bunch of the background information to take the survey and respond to the questions in it. So,
where would they find that survey?
It will be posted on the neighborhood plan webpage. That'll probably be the most stable place to find it. We're also going to send it out to there's an email list on the Notify Me page on our website, an interest list for this neighborhood plan. So we'll send it out to that email list. We'll put it in a news flash. But it'll be posted. A link to it will be posted on on the neighborhood plan webpage.
And then as this finishes out, after you get the survey in and go forward, just a couple of those moving steps to getting this plan complete, what does that look like?
Yeah, the next steps would be kind of taking the feedback from the survey and any other input and the steering committee input at the next steering committee meeting, and any additional stakeholder interviews that we have as well. And using that to refine the land use concepts, the diagrams that are in the survey and that will be talked about at the next steering committee meeting are very high level, bubbles that overlap with each other. There's nothing real specific in there yet, and so the next steps after the survey is done and the next steering committee meeting will be kind of refining that, taking, we're starting with presenting two different land use concepts. It will probably be some sort of hybrid and with some tweaks in there. So kind of refining that and then coming up with some more detail and looking at more specifics about how a road might be laid out, which areas of natural resources to be preserved, where the parks, should be, what's feasible as far as road grades and things like that, and looking a little deeper. The initial land use concepts or diagrams show potential major streets, but looking a little bit more at what neighborhood streets will help connect through the neighborhood as well. So.
Perfect. And again, feedback is what it's about here. So if people want to get involved in the project, learn more, get signed up for the Notify Me, where can they find that information at? Yeah,
that's all also on the project webpage. So it's in our under the planning page. There's a neighborhood plan section for the 2023 to 2024 neighborhood plans, and both of those. The South Stoner Prairie and Greenfield neighborhood plans are on that webpage. The Notify Me is linked there, a link to the Notify Me page to sign up for that. And again, all the meeting recordings are there, and the slides that are available from previous meetings are there too. So.
Yeah, real easy too. If you go on our website, fitchburgwi.gov, at the top right corner, you got that search piece. Just put in South Stoner Prairie Neighborhood, and you'll find it right away. Yeah. Or in my case, I found the north one, and you're like, we're doing South. Anyway, that's besides the point. Brad, you did a great job here. If people want to contact you as well, they can reach out to you during this time. Where can they find your contact information? Yeah, so that's also on the planning webpage. We have a contact bar on the right side, and also to make it easier, we have an email inbox set up for the neighborhood plans. It's fitchburg.neighborhood.plans@fitchburgwi.gov. So you can email that, and I'm monitoring that inbox as well. So. All right, Brad, thank you so much for coming on, sharing with us. We'll continue to share updates here on Talking Fitchburg.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.